please make sure you have a strap. Maybe have a blanket down for a little bit of somatic work in the practice today. And that's probably about all you need. If you are near a wall, it might be helpful to be able to put your feet on the wall for one thing we're going to do, but it's not necessary. That's just something that might be helpful. So if you are at a wall, feel free to move there when I tell you to. So today's practice is about how do we rejuvenate our energy in springtime. So I took a little course with my teacher last week about this topic. And, some of you are yoga teachers here today. So one of the things that we learn in 200-hour teacher training is the energetics of certain poses, right? So when we do back bends, we were always told, don't do all your back bends at night. They're going to keep you up all night. They can really stimulate your system. And then forward folds are a little bit more kind of calming, relaxing, but never really talk about more about why that is. So why do back bends create that stimulating effect in our system? So he talked a lot about the kidneys. And when we do a back bend, so our kidneys are down here close in toward the spine, kind of right in the very center of the body. And when we come into a back bend, the area of the kidneys moves in and they get a little bit of stimulation, a little bit of a squeeze. So in Chinese medicine, it is said that our kidneys are like the roots of our body, and they're the dominant organ in the wintertime. So if we have rested well in the winter, followed those cues of nature, hopefully our kidneys get that time to rejuvenate themselves, to store up energy. And they're said to be where we store our vital energy, right? We're born with a certain amount of it, and we can either preserve it or deplete it. So we want to preserve it. We don't want to always be depleting our kidney energy. So it's very much associated as well with our adrenals. So our adrenals are right on top of the kidneys, little hats sitting on top of our adrenals. And whenever we're in like a fight flight, we're under a lot of stress, they're producing those hormones and the adrenaline to really get us going. And the kidneys therefore govern our legs. So when we're under that fight flight, what do we want to do? We want to kind of get that energy out and run. So it's stimulating our system when we do those back bends. So we're going to do back bends today to intentionally kind of give our energy a boost. And then we'll do a little calming at the end as well. Another thing he talked about was the renal artery. So that comes off the spine and kind of attaches our kidneys onto there. And as we age, our kidneys can drop. And also that can happen depending on like our lifestyle, how sedentary we are, how much strength we have in the fascia around the kidneys. And when they drop, then we can have decreased kidney function. So doing a lot of work in this area today is going to help support the area, give it strength, give it vitality, and hopefully give us that burst of energy. So we're going to grab our strap. And if you are doing the playlist today, you can start it now at any time. And you're going to make a loop in your strap that you're going to need to be able to put over your head. So make it big enough that you can take it around your body. Try to get all the kinks out of it. And then we're going to tighten it up. Okay, and we want that strap to be low enough that it's going to hit the lower rib cage in the back. So that's the kidney band area that we're targeting today. So just tighten up that belt and make sure it's hitting your lower back ribs, okay? And then we'll sit up nice and tall once you have that all settled. So we want it snug enough that we can feel a little resistance into the strap when we're breathing, but we don't want it so tight that it's strangling us. So kind of find that balance, and then we'll come into kind of a meditation, all right? So I'm just kind of watching whilst everyone gets settled. Take a moment, widen out your sit bones so you have a good stable base. And then go ahead and imagine like the head really floating upward. We create length in the lower back. Let the chin come slightly down, lengthening the back of your skull. And then we're going to come into our breathing. And as you breathe, I'd like you to see if you can bring the breath into where the strap is in your back body, okay? So let's go ahead, take a few moments there. You might close your eyes. You might find a soft focal point. And imagine you could breathe right into that kidney area. Now, for some of us, we get kind of stuck in a bit of a back bend, especially if we have a pelvic tilt that is not neutral. And so if we think about it, that's always going to be stimulating that area of the body. So fixing our pelvic tilt can be helpful for things like anxiety and, high levels of stress. So imagine you're nourishing, feeding your kidneys with your breath. And let that breath be nice and soft and slow. And we'll keep that going. I'm going to share a little reading with you as you continue that breath work. So this is kind of like awakening our energy. So this reading is about awakening. In the practice of yoga, as in any other spiritual practice, there are many kinds of awakening. There is a sudden awakening that comes out of the blue and is filled with the wonder of discovery. We might remember the burst of joy we felt, liberation we felt after perhaps taking our first yoga class. That's an awakening. Then there comes the everyday form of awakening, the quiet ahas, small but significant insights, brief flashes of understanding which, added one to another, mark the incremental growth of awareness. The way a plant forms a bud before it comes into flower. And then further along comes the awakening to your own nature, to your own potential. The rite of passage that confirms that even though you may benefit from the guidance of a teacher, you have the courage, the integrity, and the sense of responsibility to find your own way. This stage of the journey initiates the awakening of the inner body. When the body reveals its secrets one by one, just as a flower unfolds, petal by petal. That's written by Donald Moyer from Yoga Awakening the Inner Body. Okay, we're going to do a little energy work today. I went to an all-day cranial sacral energy healing workshop yesterday at April's studio. Not April is here, but she knows April. She teaches there too. So we're going to take your right hand and you're going to bring it behind your back, close to your spine on your lower back rib area. So you're going to be kind of cupping the area of your kidney. You're going to take your other hand and just put all your fingers together and imagine you could draw a line from the back where the kidney is to the front where your fingers are. Okay. And then we're going to take a couple moments and imagine you're sending energy from your front hand to your back hand and right into your kidney. So we're going to take about 5 breaths, just visualizing that. And breathe into where the belt is. And imagine you could just send vitality and energy into your kidney. Can you feel the breath where your hand is in your back body? Take one more breath here. So this is one of the techniques we learned yesterday. And after this next breath, finish out your exhale, release your hands, give a little shake. And then let's go ahead and do that on the other side. So find the area of where your left kidney might be and place your hand close into the spine, lower rib area. Bring your other hand in the front as if you're directing energy toward your back body, and take your 5 breaths. Breathe right into that strap. And finishing out wherever you are, this is last breath. And then we'll slowly release when you're ready. Give it another little shake. Okay, let's keep the strap on. Take your arms, reach them overhead, interlace your palms, and lengthen up nice and tall. And we'll take an inhale here. See if you can breathe into that strap. And then we're going to take a twist over to the right. Okay, now as you come into that twist, take an inhale to lengthen. And as you exhale, have a sense of kind of squeezing your side waist muscles as you turn a little deeper into that twist. So twists are also stimulating for this area of the body. So as you twist, that kidney area gets a little bit of a squeeze. It helps lift your rib cage up, and we get that pressure in there. Take another breath into your strap. A little more challenging when you're in that twist. And then let's release. Inhale, reach the arms up, and right over to your other side. Come into the twist the other way. And then we'll inhale, lengthen up tall. And as you exhale, we're going to kind of squeeze those side waist muscles, contract them. And see if you could feel, into the area of the kidneys. Take one more breath here. And then slowly release. Inhale, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, hands forward. Then walk those hands out any amount. And once again, breathe out into your back, into the belt in the back. Okay, slowly walk it back in, change the crossing of your legs, opposite leg in the front. We'll do one more time into the fold. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, come forward, pause and breathe. All right, slowly come up. Let's go ahead, take that belt off. Keep that off to the side. You can keep the loop in it. We're going to use that later. And then rub your hands together. And we're going to place those hands right in that same area in the lower back and press your hands into your back. Now, if this bothers your wrists, use your fists. That's another option. Keep pressing your hands into your back and then come into a little back bend. Maybe take your gaze up and back. Use your hands to draw a little down and press a little in. And send your breath there. And slowly release, shake it out. One more thing here, seated. We're going to tap on kidney meridian points. You're going to find your inner collarbone. And you're going to go right down underneath the collarbone. There's a little bit of an indentation, and we're going to tap. So if you've never done tapping, we do it on particular acupressure points. And the K27s, that's the points we're working now, kidney 27s, said to be like a jump start for your system. So if you need a little pick-me-up in the middle of the day, tap on these points. So get a good tapping going, nice breath. Nice inhale. Exhale it out. Take 2 more breaths as you tap. One more. Good. All right, go ahead, release. And I want to show you a couple moves we're going to do before you come down on your back so you can see. So this is going to be a somatic movement. So we're going to come down and have your feet flat. I'm going to take my right leg and tuck it behind my left. So my right foot is tucked behind my left foot, and I'm going to hold my right foot and try to draw that leg in a little bit. And then I'm going to take that right arm overhead. This is like the unwinding movement many of you have done with me, but we're holding the foot. I'm going to push into my left foot, roll toward my right, and look over my left shoulder. And I'm going to try and contract that area of the kidneys. And then I'm going to release back to the start. We'll do that a bunch of times. So that's the first thing. Second thing, we're going to roll to our side. So we'll do this whole thing on one side before we go to the other side. I'm going to take my top leg behind me, and I'm going to reach my front arm forward and a little back. So I'm making like a back bend, and then I'm going to draw elbow to knee in. So inhale, I'm coming into a back bend. It's like a hamstring curl with this top leg, and then exhale, curl in. And then last thing, we're going to come into holding that top leg. Okay, so let's go ahead, come on your backs. Bend your knees. And let's tuck that right foot behind your left foot and hold your foot. Now, if you can't get the foot, you could use your strap. Or you could just not hold the foot as another option, okay? Take that right arm overhead. Now from here, we're gonna drop that left knee over to the right. Look over your left shoulder and really push into your foot, that left foot. Push into your right thigh and arch your back. Contract that kidney area. And then exhale, we relax back to the start. Okay, so let's continue that. Inhale, arch. Press down into that bottom leg. Press into your foot. And release. We're going to do 3 more cycles, total of 5. So each time we come into it, we get that little squeeze and release. It brings lots of good blood flow and circulation into that kidney region. Make sure you inhale into that movement, and you're going to exhale, relax. Okay, last one. Okay, go ahead and release that right foot and roll onto your right side. We're going to straighten that top leg and straighten the top arm. And then you're going to bend the top knee and bring that foot behind you. Your chest needs to roll a little forward as a counterbalance. And then you're going to draw elbow and knee together, tuck your head in, round your spine. Inhale, take that arm and leg behind you, contract that lower back region, and then pull in. Okay, so 3 more like this. Find that hamstring curl. You're probably using that glute and the hamstring as well as the lower back. Just be mindful of your lower back here today as well this work. Last one. Okay, so after that last one, go ahead, stack up your legs. Option to straighten the bottom leg might be a little more hard to balance. If you can straighten. If not, you can keep that bottom leg bent. And then we're going to see if we can catch the top foot coming into kind of like a dancer pose here on our side. See if you can hold the big toe side of your foot, which will open your shoulder. And then flex your bottom foot, root into your bottom leg, and take your top shoulder, roll it back. Maybe you'll take your thigh a little back. Let's hold there for 2 more breaths. So a lot of these kinds of shapes today. All right, so go ahead, release, stack your legs up and reach your top arm overhead, come into like a full body stretch on your side, like a side Tadasana, and then let it go. Okay, go ahead, switch out. I'm gonna just roll over so I can still be facing you guys. So now we're gonna tuck that other foot in. So last time we did right, now left. Take that left arm up and overhead. And you're gonna push in your other foot. Drop that knee over, look over the opposite shoulder, arch your back. And then exhale, release. Okay, so go ahead and do that one a few more times. See if you can get a total of 5. Looks good from what I can see. And absolutely no worries if you want to keep those cameras off today. Just do the best you can. So we're going to do a total of 5, and then you'll roll onto your side. Take your time. Okay, so I think everyone's ready. We're on our side. We're going to do that arm and leg extension, and then bend that top knee. Roll your chest forward to counter that balance of taking your leg back, and then elbow and knee draw together. Okay, inhale, leg curls back, contract the hamstring glute area, and then elbow to knee. Two more here. Okay, after that last one, either bottom leg stays bent or straighten it out. And then we're going to bend that top knee. See if you can hold the big toe side of that foot. Flex the bottom foot, really root that leg into the ground, help you balance. Tailbone can draw in a bit. And staying there for a couple more breaths, maybe take your thigh a little back. Shoulder rolls back and down. Try to let that top knee drop so we're not kind of splaying those knees apart. And then we'll release and come into that side Tadasana, reach that top arm overhead, lengthen. And then release, roll to your belly, and we're gonna come on up into tabletop position. So 5 rounds of cat-cows with awareness to that kidney band area. So inhale, that area drawing in. And as you exhale, really kind of puff it up toward the ceiling. So you get a good stretch through that lower back. And then repeat. Inhale, arch. Exhale, and round. Okay, so 3 more like that. And then just go ahead, take a child's pose to finish out. So after 5 rounds, taking a moment in child's pose, and maybe you can send that breath into the back body. Imagine you're breathing into that belt. Okay, let's come back up into tabletop position. We're going to take our right leg back. Tone your belly. And lift that leg off the ground. So that same kind of hamstring curl, bend your knee. And you're gonna lift that thigh at the same time, lift your head, lift your chest, as if your head and your foot were gonna tap each other. And then tap that knee to the floor. Okay, inhale, take that leg up, curl it open. Watch your neck and then tap it down. Okay, so a couple more like that. Press evenly through your palms. Last one here. And as you come up this time, stay up, and you can either just keep that leg reaching up, or you're going to take your opposite arm, reach it back, see if you can grab that foot. And then if you can get the foot, lift your thigh, lift your chest, kick your foot back. Notice that right area of the kidney. And then let it go into a balancing table, reach the arm and leg out. Release back to child's pose. Give those arms a brief rest. Okay, let's go ahead and do that on the other side. We're going to take that opposite leg back behind you, left leg. And then we're going to lift it up, bend the knee, hamstring curl, tip your head back, and then tap down. Okay, total of 5. Try not to rush it, really feel that work in the back body every time. I just kind of throw it up there. I'm not going to get as much out of it. And then after your 5 rounds, keep that leg up and see if you can reach back and grab your foot. And then try to lift your thigh, lift your chest, kick your foot back. Notice your left side kidney band area. Slowly release to your balancing table, and then hand down, come all the way down to child's pose. Now, if you had a blanket down on your mat, now would be a good time to take that blanket off your mat. And we'll come back to tabletop position. Okay, inhale a little arch to your back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Push through your palms. Knees down. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, child's pose. Now inhale all the way up on your knees. Reach your arms overhead. And then you're going to bring your hands onto that lower back ribs again. Draw down, press in, and take a little back bend. And then release, inhale, reach it up. Exhale, down to child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Really lift up through your sit bones. And then knees down, inhale. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale all the way up on your knees. This time, interlace your hands behind your back. Open your collarbones, take a little back bend. Imagine your hands in that same position. Pressing down, lift your chest. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, down dog. Okay, knees down, last round. Inhale, table. Exhale, child's. Inhale, up on your knees. This time, tuck your toes. Left hand on your hip, right arm reaches up. Inhale, try to reach as tall as you can, and imagine it's coming from way down low in your kidney. Really lift up. And then take that hand, you're going to reach it back either onto your thigh, your ankle, or your heel, coming into kind of an asymmetrical camel pose. Turn your chest back a little more forward. Press your pelvis forward. Just kind of feel that squeeze in that lower back region, and then come up. Try your other side, right hand on the hip. Inhale, reach tall from that kidney area, and then circle it back wherever you like to touch. And then pelvis moves forward. It's going to give you more of that back bend. If you let your pelvis come back, you're not going to have much of a back bend. And then slowly release, both arms up. And back down, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then go ahead, walk it forward, top of the mat. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, let's reach it all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. A couple Surya Namaskars. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, and then step it back, plank pose, top of a push-up. And then lower down, your choice if you want to drop those knees. Reach back through your legs as if you're lengthening from your kidneys, shoulders back, cobra or your up dog. Downward facing dog. Big inhale here, exhale, step or jump, top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, this time add a back bend at the top, circle those arms back, and release, hands to heart. Good. Let's go again, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, step it back, plank pose. Your vinyasa, you want to do a cobra, an up dog, knees down, yogi's choice. Paying attention so you come into the back bend to that lower kidney band area. Meet in dog. Take a breath or two there, and when you're ready, step or jump, top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, fold. And then inhale, root through your legs, rise all the way up. And hands to heart. Okay, bend your knees, chair pose, Utkatasana. Notice as you hold your chair, let's hold for a few breaths. Do you have a lot of strain in that kidney area? If you do, see if you can draw your hip bones up a little bit, front hip bones up a little bit, lengthen tailbone, so we're not overly archy in this particular pose. One more breath. And then as you exhale, fold over your legs. Halfway lift, vinyasa or not. You can always go right to dog if you want to skip that vinyasa. Otherwise, we're doing Surya Namaskar B. Meet in downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg straight up, and then step it through. We're coming into warrior one. So we're going to bend into that front knee, circle the arms up, and pause here. Hold your warrior one. Press down in your feet, engage your back leg, and then turn your torso straight ahead and kind of feel into that lower back region. Can you create a little more space there by really growing your arms out of your lower back? Reach up even higher and free up that lower back region. On your next exhale, hands down, vinyasa or not. Always have choices. Meeting back in dog. Okay, inhale, left leg up. Let's do our warrior one on the other side. Hold your warrior one. So nice deep bend in your front knee, and if you feel really tight in this lower back region, try to lift the front of your pelvis. Use your arms to lift out of your lower back. You're really trying to lift that back rib cage up off your pelvis. One more breath. And then release. Hands down, step it back for the vinyasa or right to downward facing dog. When you're ready, step or jump, top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, fold. And a nice deep bend in your knees. Once again, Utkatasana, chair pose. That lifting of the hip points helps lengthen your lower back. And rise to stand. Good. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift and step it back, your vinyasa, or go right to dog. And we're gonna all meet in downward facing dog after that vinyasa and hold it there. So really push your hands into the floor, firm your arms, and we're gonna inhale the right leg up. Here comes that hamstring curl. Bend your knee, and then start to curl your head and chest toward your foot. Hug into the midline. Don't let that knee splay open, and get that slight arch in your back. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, we're gonna step it all the way through. Drop your back knee to the ground, into a lunge. Inhale, reach your arms up. Okay, find that lift in your front of your pelvis, lifting those hip bones. Imagine your hands in that kidney area, drawing your lower back down. And your arms help lift out of that kidney area as you slide into your front knee, coming into a deeper low lunge. Inhale here, reach a little higher through your arms, and then maybe reach back. So we are gonna feel a little bit of that stimulation into that kidney area, but we wanna keep the compression out, so keep lifting your rib cage. Okay, back up to vertical, take an inhale. Exhale, twist to your right to open your arms. Let's repeat that. Inhale up through center. Exhale, twist. See if you can kind of feel what's going on in your back body. Take a couple more rounds. That left glute might be engaging. You might feel that twist through the kidney band. One more time. Now hold it. Okay, stay here. Remember when we did that seated twist, we squeezed those side waist muscles to turn. See if you could do that. And then bring your right hand onto your hip. Left elbow hooks over the knee. Prayer twist. Stack your palms. You take an inhale, exhale, turn that rib cage. And if you want to go a little bit more, tuck your back toes, lift that back knee off the ground. Then keep rooting into your feet, squeezing those inner thighs, and then turn. Take one more breath here. And then release, hands down, step it back, vinyasa or not, up to you. Yogi's choice, child's pose is always available. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Okay, let's go for that kind of scorpion downward facing dog with that left leg up behind you. Go for that hamstring curl and then lift your head and chest. See if you can reach it like we did when we were in tabletop position. You're trying to imagine your head and your foot. We're going to touch and meet in the back. Good, and then step it all the way through, coming into your lunge, back knee down. Inhale, reach your arms up. Good, staying here. Root down into the feet. Lift the front of the pelvis, lengthen the lower back. Then we can slide into that front knee without as much compression. From deep in your low back, lift your ribs, lift your arms, and then maybe reach it back. Just imagine you're going back over a giant ball. See with that smooth, even arc of your back bend. Bring it up to vertical. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, twist to your left. Okay, let's do that a few more cycles. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Good, and again, inhale center, exhale twist. Let's do one more round and then we'll hold it. You hold that twist. Keep rooting into the feet, the legs, hugging the midline. And then you're going to bring that left hand onto your hip, right elbow hooks, finding your prayer twist. Good. And we're either going to stay there, or those of you who want to go a little bit farther might decide to lift that back knee if you're stable. Okay, go for stability rather than what it looks like, right? How does it feel? See if you can turn that rib cage a little more, open your chest. Good, and then hands down, make your way back through vinyasa or go right to dog. Okay, let's inhale plank pose. When you're ready, we're going to come all the way down onto our belly. Little break from the vinyasa. Okay, so reach your arms and legs out like a full body stretch. Try to reach the legs back as long as you can, reach the arms forward, lengthen your neck. And then we're going to lift that right leg off the ground. And stay there and lift the left arm off the ground. Now press down into the ground with the opposite arm and leg. Try to lift a little higher and notice what you're feeling in that lower back. Can you press your tailbone a little down? And that'll help some of that compression in your lower back. Release. Other side, lift your left leg up. Try to keep that leg nice and neutral, no twisting of the knee, and then opposite arm. Okay, press down into the arms that are on the ground, arm and leg on the ground, lift a little higher. Be aware of that kidney band area. Maybe that tailbone presses a little bit more into the ground to keep more length. Okay, go ahead and release. And now we'll try both arms, both legs if you can. So lengthen first, lift both legs, lift both arms. Try not to lift your chin, so back of the neck is long. And then tailbone presses down to give you a little more lift. One more breath. Let it go. Give your hips a little wiggle, side to side. And then prop up onto your forearms. We're going to bring the right knee out to the side. And then bring your hands under your chest like you're doing cobra pose. Roll your shoulder heads back. We're going to inhale, lift up, and we're going to look toward that right knee. Push into your hands. And then squeeze the right side of your waist. So you give that little bit of contraction into the area of the kidney, and then release, come back to center. Let's repeat that. Inhale, come up, turn, look over your knee, a little squeeze on that right side, and then release one more time. Every time we squeeze it, just think about we're bringing more circulation in, and then slide that leg back, give your hips a little wiggle, and then we'll do that on the other side. Left knee out to the side. Hands under your shoulders, shoulders back, lift up, and look over towards your knee. Squeeze that left side and release. Okay, do that 2 more rounds. Make sure hands are back far enough that you feel like you can really lift up. That's it. One more. All right, slide that leg back. When you're ready, stack up your hands under your forehead, give your hips a little wiggle. And then from here, slide back. tabletop position. Maybe you want to do a couple hip circles and then back to child's pose when you're ready. So take another breath or two in child's pose. Breathing into that lower back region. Okay, and then come up and grab 2 blocks. And you're going to place them head to head so they're the long way right across your mat. And if you have squishy soft blocks, you probably don't need a blanket on top, but I have these cork ones, so I'm going to put a blanket on top of mine. And we'll do puppy pose to get a little opening for shoulders. Okay. So we'll walk the knees back and we'll bring the elbows onto the block setup. You might start with your forehead on the blocks and see if you can kind of bring your elbows a little forward, your knees a little back, and bring your palms behind the back of your head. We'll stay there for about 5 breaths, letting that upper spine draw in a bit. So some of you might guess the direction we're going. We're going to do some kind of versions of dancer pose. So I want to get a little bit more open through the shoulders. So make sure hips are kind of over knees for puppy. It's not a child's pose. Now, if you want to go further, bring your forehead to the ground for your last couple of breaths. So you go a little deeper. If that doesn't feel accessible, keep your forehead on the blocks. All right, slowly start to press yourself up and we'll take those props out of the way. And grab your strap again. So we're gonna do this pose on the ground and eventually we'll do it standing. That's a little different. This is where it might be helpful if you have a wall, you can put your feet on the wall, it'll help your balance here, but you certainly could do it in the middle of the room as well. We're still on the ground. So now, so let me show you guys. We're gonna be in that side Tadasana again. And some of you might feel like you need a pillow here under your head, like a blanket, fold it. So do that if you need to. Try to line everything up. So we're stacking up our hips, our shoulders. And now this time we're going to need that loop in the strap that we started with, but you might want to make it a little bit smaller. We're going to take that loop over your top foot. Okay. Now, once you've got that, you're going to see if you can grab it with your bottom hand. So you're grabbing that loop with your bottom hand. Now, initially, I'm just trying to get balanced here and get that strap out of my face. Initially, you might bring that knee up to get it and then let the knee drop. And the bottom leg needs to root into the ground, flex that foot, keep your tailbone drawing in. And then if you want to go further and you're steady, the top arm's going to come up and also hold the belt. So this is the pose we do standing, which is a lot harder. And then see if you can get that top thigh to draw back, maybe a little sense of your head curling back. Lift the front of your pelvis a little bit so you're zippering up. Let's hold that for 2 more breaths. Reach your elbows away from your waist. And then after that second breath, let go of the strap and let go of your leg. Very good. Okay, let's flip it over to your other side. We'll try that on the other side. So it gives you kind of this feeling of the pose before we're up standing on one leg. Okay, so we'll stack everything up. And again, your feet might push into a wall. So as you come into it, that bottom foot could be pressing into a wall. It'll help you stabilize. When you're ready, take your strap around that top foot, however you can. And we're gonna reach up and hold it with the bottom arm first. That's gonna be more stable. So you can use this top hand to press into the floor. Get your bottom leg rooting down. Let the knees drop together so you're not splaying that top knee up. Pull your tailbone in. Then if you're steady enough, both arms hold that strap. And reach the elbows away from your waist. Maybe your thigh moves back, maybe your head curls back a little bit. And breathe. One more breath here. We'll let go of the arms first and then the leg and release. Okay, so let's roll back onto the belly. So prop back up on your forearms. Left forearm can come a little bit on an angle or parallel to the top of your mat. You're gonna bend that right knee, reach back, see if you can grab that big toe side of the foot and kick that leg back. And then from here, bring that other hand more forward, push into the floor, lift your chest. And then turn your chest forward. Notice that kidney band area, maybe press your tailbone down. And then come all the way down, bring that knee, the foot in a little bit, and then see if you can float the left arm, left leg, and kick that foot back. Release and come into that full body, kind of Superman pose, and then let it go. Wiggle out those hips. Okay, let's try that on the other side. Right forearm comes in a little bit to support you. Bend the left knee, reach back. Can you get that big toe side of the foot? If not, do what you can. Knees close together. Then I bring that right hand forward, push into it, lift up. Kick the foot back, roll your shoulder back. Press your tailbone down. And then lower down. And try to reach through right arm, right leg, lift up again. Watch your neck. And then release, both arm, both legs, reach in. And let it go. Wiggle those hips out. Take a moment, rest down. Send your breath into those lower back ribs. Okay, so going for bow pose, if you like, you can always modify. Let's try bending both knees, reach the arms back, see if you can get both feet. Roll the shoulders back, kick the feet back, lift the chest. Press that tailbone down. See if you can hold that for another breath or two. It's hard for me to talk while I do that. Lower your chin, don't stick that chin out, good. So we can lift the head, but try not to kink the neck. Yeah, good, good. All right, when you're ready, let it all go. Maybe this time we want to windshield wiper the shins or circle the shins. Pick them up, circle your feet or windshield wipers. And if you're circling, go the other way. Okay, let those shins come down and we're going to press it back to brief child's pose. All right, downward facing dog when you're ready. Take an inhale, exhale, step or jump, top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale, exhale, fold. And inhale all the way up. Okay, go ahead, come into Tadasana, grab your strap, and we'll work on our standing dancer pose now. So feel free if you want to be at a wall, have something to hold on to, a chair if you need to, or we can do it in the middle of the room. Okay, have your strap. So we're going to stand up nice and tall, lift the front of your pelvis, lengthen the back. Root into your right leg, and then let's go ahead, bring that strap around the left foot. Now, might need to make that strap bigger because we're going to do, we're going to call it serving the pizza. You turn your palm up and then bring your elbow in. So you can drop that knee, and maybe you're going to hold with both hands. You can also put one hand on the wall. And if this is all too much for you, go ahead and just do this version. You're still going to get a lot out of that, okay? So feel free to lose the strap if this version is too much, if you have, especially if you have a shoulder injury, anything like that going on today. So see if you can stick it once you got it. Hold for a breath or two. Keep those knees down. Try to lift your thigh. Maybe your head goes back towards your foot like we did in all those other poses. And then to come out, we're going to let go of the strap and release and shake it out. Good. Okay, let's go ahead, try that on the other side. So we'll stand on the left leg, bring your strap around your foot. And then we rotate the palm. Oh, I got my all tangled up. Rotate the palm and get that elbow up and overhead. Once you've got it, knee drops. That's it. Elbows in, maybe hold with both hands if you can. Otherwise, just do that one hand. Root into your standing leg. Maybe try to lift your thigh, curl your head back, reach your elbows up. Hold another breath. And then we'll let go of the strap, let go of the foot, shake it all out. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold. Let's stay in the fold now for a little bit. So stretch out the legs, the lower back, and bend your knees if you like, and hold opposite elbows, big toes, any version here you like. If you've got opposite elbows, go ahead and do the switch. Okay, and then when you're ready, go ahead, come on up. If you want to take a vinyasa to the floor, you're welcome to, or go ahead and just sit right down. We're going to grab something to sit on. You want to use a pillow or a blanket. And now let's just kind of soothe this area, a little forward folding, a little kind of massage for the lower back with a few things. So let's go into a wide leg position. Turning your toes up. Okay, we're going to inhale, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, let's twist to the right. And as you twist, you feel a little bit of that kidney squeeze. Reach those arms a little higher. And then exhale, let's go ahead and fold over the leg. And you can stay up higher here if you prefer. You can go more into a fold. And if you want, go a little bit deeper, take your left hand across towards your pinky toe side, and then you'll get a little more stretch onto that left side kidney band area. Turn your chest more down toward your leg and breathe. Can you send some breath into that left side? Okay, last breath. And then we'll slowly start to make our way back up through the center. Okay, let's try the other side. Inhale, reach your arms up, turn, find that twist, hold it. Inhale, reach a little higher, and then exhale, go ahead and bring your hands down. You can stay higher, you can come into more of a fold. If you want to cross that right hand across towards your pinky toe, you can find a little bit more length through that right side. Keep those sit bones drawing down and breathe. Sometimes I like to push into the left palm to give me a little bit more twist here. Just think about bringing blood flow, energy flow into that area of restriction. And then go ahead and release on your next inhale, coming all the way back up through the center. Take a pause. Okay, so go ahead and take an optional forward fold in the center. You can stay upright, or you could walk yourself out to your capacity. Maybe you want to use some props here underneath your arms or under your forehead, or just come into a simple forward fold. Those sit bones draw back, pelvis is tipping forward. So we keep as much neutrality in that lower back as we can. Send your breath there. When you're ready, let's go ahead and slowly start to come up. We're going to use our hands and draw the legs back in. Okay, so we're going to come on our back. Let me just give you a little visual of this thing we're going to do next. You might want something under your head. So we're going to come into reclined Sukhasana. So that's the pose when we sit cross-legged on the floor, but we're doing it on our back. So we'll take the legs up, we're going to cross, and then we're going to pull in, try to get your knees over your chest. Those of you who can are going to hold your pinky edges of your feet and flex the feet and really pull in. So there is a little bit of rounding here, okay? So go ahead, try. Let's do right ankle on top because we are going to do both. And have your feet flexed. And you want to feel like you're on that kidney band area. So as you pull the knees up in towards your chest, you're right on those lower ribs. So there's a very slight rounding of your lower back there as the tailbone is going to lift off the floor. And then we're going to do a little rocking from right to left. So as if we could rock from right kidney to left kidney. Just give it a little releasing massage after all that stimulation. Now, if the cross leg is not feeling good, you can also just do, knees into chest as another option. Now, see if you can make that rock really small. So as if you're going from just the right to left side of your spine. So more subtle. Make that rock really small. Okay, let's go ahead, switch out. Bring your opposite ankle on the top. And if you can't hold feet, you could hold your knees or your legs. Flex the feet. Pull those knees a little bit more up towards your chest. A little bit of your tailbone lifting up. And then a gentle rock side to side. You can start with a little bigger rock and eventually we get it more and more subtle. So we're just kind of rocking right off the center. Okay, unwind it. Bring those knees into your chest. Give a good squeeze. Take an inhale. Exhale, let's lift our head, chest, and shoulders. And again, we're rounding. Kind of press that kidney area into the mat. And release. Can stay here with a knee hug, maybe some circles, or take a happy baby. Again, grabbing those pinky edges of the feet if that feels good for you. And you might stay still or come back to some more rocking. Okay, and then let's go ahead and maybe do one more knee hug. We'll find Shavasana. You might wish to have some support underneath your knees. So if you want, you can take those blocks like we have them for puppy pose with your blanket on top and make yourself a little shelf for the backs of your knees. Or if you have some pillows at home, use those. So I'm going to help relax that area as we come into more of a bent knee Shavasana. Now, while you're there, let's take a moment and bring both of your hands to your front rib cage area. Feel the warmth of your hands on those ribs. And as you breathe, imagine that your front ribs, we're going to kind of melt down towards your back ribs. And let your back ribs melt toward the floor. So for some of us who are stuck in that little bit of a pelvic tilt and we have that tightness in our lower back, often there's a rib cage flare. So let the rib cage settle and soften, helping to relax your lower back. And then let your sacrum drop equally into the floor. And then that space in between your pelvis and your rib cage, see if you could relax that area. And just noticing all that work you did today, the effect in the lower back. Continue to let it relax and soften. And as you stay in Shavasana, I'll share a little reading with you just to help you drift off, and then I'll give you some quiet time. So this is called Seeds of Possibilities. So sometimes think of our kidneys as seeds or roots that store up that energy like a plant. May we nourish seeds of possibility and joy. May we tend to the seeds of connection and seeds of ideas. May we nurture seeds of genius and sparks of change. May we gather up what we've created and hold it lovingly, and then open our hands and let go. May we plant what we can, savor what we can, harvest what we need to thrive, and love where we are now, hearts alive and hope extended. May we be as full of promise as a nestled seed lying in the darkness, at the fiercest edge of cracking open, ready to see what grows. All right, so we're going to start to come out now. Bring in a little deeper breath, some smaller movements. And take your time, try not to hurry. Eventually come onto your side for a pause, and then we'll return to seated. So again, find a nice comfortable seated position, widen your sit bones, lengthen up out of your lower back. And then without the help of the belt, see if we can breathe into that lower back region, lower rib cage. Keeping the face relaxed. You follow your awareness in through your inner ears. And keeping that awareness more inward focused as you take now 3 little sips of breath. So we're breaking up that inhale. So on your next inhalation, breathe in a little bit. Pause, breathe in again. Pause and see if you could get one more sip of air. Hold for a moment and then exhale softly all the way out without losing the length of your spine. So go ahead and do that a few more rounds. If you need a little recovery breath in between, feel free to take it. If you can only get 2 sips, take 2 sips. See if you can do the 3 parts. This is said to kind of build that vitality as we're lengthening out the inhalation. One smooth exhalation all the way out. Let's do 2 more rounds. After your second round, just return to a normal breath. And then we'll place hands together in front of our heart space. Take a nice inhale and exhale, bow inward to your heart. Namaste. Thank you guys for joining me today. It was fun to have some new faces for Sunday yoga.